It was on a fine Sunday afternoon that I arrived by car from the station to begin my stay as a boarder at St. Joseph's Convent High School. This was the first time that I had made a long journey all by myself, and now I was to live away from home for 4 years. As the taxi turned a corner, I caught my first glimpse of the school, and I asked the driver to stop so that I could take a longer look. Tredegar House has been used as a convent high school since 1951, when it was acquired by the Sisters of St. Joseph of Annecy from the Tredegar family. Over the entrance gates stand the proud figures of a lion and a griffin, which form part of the Tredegar coat of arms. I was delighted to see that the Reverend Mother herself had come out to welcome me, and she introduced me to Sheila, who had helped me to settle in. It was such a wonderful day that Sheila decided to show me the grounds before we went into the school buildings. We first visited the statue of the Sacred Heart in its beautiful setting close to the school. And then I was shown the old sundial, which dates back to 1690. When it was first made, it had a finely carved dial, but now very little of the details are still visible. Sheila then took me to the pleasure gardens, where the many flowering shrubs and trees were at their very best in the spring sunshine. In the corner of the gardens is an unusual memorial erected by the second Lord Tredegar in memory of his favourite charger, Sir Briggs, on which he rode into battle at Balaclava in 1854. Time when the Tredegar family were in residence, a staff of 24 gardeners were employed to look after the grounds, and it was the high cost of the estate's upkeep that led to the Honourable John Morgan disposing of his ancestral home. As a special treat, Sheila introduced me to some other new visitors to the school. churchyard stands an old pump that has been in constant use for well over 300 years. And then I met Jenny, a great favourite with everyone, and her stable companion, Chummy. They both looked as if they could do with a cool drink. Saved the best parts of the ground until last. The lake is over half a mile long, and at its widest point it is nearly a quarter of a mile from bank to bank. In the past it was inhabited by many swans, but now only 2 remain. We both felt that we could have stayed in the warm sunshine all afternoon, but it was now time to go into the school. I was sure that in such pleasant surroundings that my stay at the school would be a very happy one. Entrance hall, Sheila paused to show me the fine painting by John Charlton of the Battle of Balaclava. The Honourable Godfrey Charles Morgan, who later became the second Lord Tredegar, can be seen riding Sir Briggs. The Tredegar family tree can be traced back to 1026 to Hywel Dda, Prince of Wales. A fine portrait in another room shows Sir Godfrey Morgan, the first Lord Tredegar, in his ceremonial uniform. Most of the more valuable paintings and ornaments were removed when the Tredegar family gave up possession of the house. This painting shows the Honourable Evan Morgan. And this is the Honourable John Morgan, the last member of the family to live in the house. We then went into the Great Hall, which is now used for assembly. Sheila showed me the school notice board and then introduced me to Sister Mary Patrick. We admired the painted copy of the Tredegar coat of arms, and I could see again the lion and the griffin, which were also on the entrance gates. Sister translated the family motto for me: "If God is with us, who is against us?" The Brown Room is a fine example of 17th century craftsmanship. Over each of the main doors is an impressive carved bust of a Greek goddess and a Roman emperor. It is reputed that one craftsman served his full apprenticeship on the many figures and panels in this room. We were amused by the grotesque features of some of the carvings. I am sure that they remind me of people that I know. The Brown Room is now used as the school music room, and its unusual decor adds a special quality to the sound of the piano. The ceiling was originally a painted fresco, but is now adorned with garlands and wreaths. Before having our tea, there was just time to pay a short visit to the school chapel, which was originally the family dining room before the convent school took over. On the right of the altar is the statue of St. Joseph, the patron saint of the school. He has the child Jesus in his arms. And on the left of the altar is a beautiful statue of Our Lady of Lourdes. Early next morning, the serious part of my stay at the school began. Joseph of Annecy have performed a wonderful task in converting the old house into a fine school, and most of the original bedrooms have been turned into classrooms. school are nearly 300 years old. The teaching equipment and methods are very up to date. The sixth formers are helped in every way to understand the complexities of modern science by Mrs. Smith, their physics mistress. Class with everyone is domestic science. Here we are taught every aspect of cookery and home management under the guidance of Sister Mary Carmel. Has only recently been converted from its original use as the laundry. This class serves as a practical form of self-expression, and we are encouraged by our teacher, Mrs. Dyer, herself a talented artist, to explore the many varied types of creative arts. Classes, Miss Perry explains to us the wonders of nature, and the accent is on practical work. The school, in its beautiful country setting, with a lake near at hand, makes it easy to obtain all kinds of specimens for nature study. Take it in turns to look after the school pets. It is our special job to feed them and to keep their cages clean. At the moment, our special favourite is cheeky little Hammy, the hamster. As a change from classroom lessons, we are sometimes invited to visit the nearby farm of Mr. Cullimore, which, like the school, once formed part of the Tredegar estate. Tullamore is only too pleased to answer any questions that we may ask about his farm and the animals. Before leaving, there was just time to feed the new lambs, and they were so friendly that we all wish we could have one for a pet. The headmistress, Sister St. Brendan, seen here with Sister Mary Pauline, has a staff of 7 teaching sisters and 12 lay teachers to help her run the school. This is no easy task, for the school has over 300 day pupils and 70 boarders. A high standard of work is achieved by the girls who take needlework and dressmaking. Full credit must be given to Sister Mary Bridget, whose care and patience is so well rewarded. At the end of each day, it is only fitting to kneel in prayer to thank God for our good fortune in being looked after by the kind sisters at Tredegar House.